What is the role of human geography in a changing world?
The academic that we were assigned to interview was Dr. Cordelia Freeman. Dr. Freeman is a feminist political geographer who researches topics associated with borders, mobility, and violence. She currently focuses her work on the geographies of abortion, specifically in Latin America. Therefore, she allocated us to read her academic literature on via politics and the emancipatory possibilities of abortion mobilities.
Dr. Freeman completed her PhD in human geography and specialized on the Chile-Peru border for her research. In order to gather research on the history of violence on this border, she moved to Arica, Chile, which sits on the border next to Peru. During her time in Arica, she learned that this was a critical border for women's travel into Peru to access abortions. Due to the new information she gained, she subsequently started to explore this abortion mobility more and found limited academic research on this topic. The only information she could find was in local newspapers where women would be caught in the illegal act of crossing the border to access abortions. As a result of the lack of academic literature and the controversial subject matter, she decided to use the example of abortion border crossings from Chile to Peru in her PhD.
The first question we asked was, did you face any challenges when collecting accounts and data? For example, resistance from governments or an unwillingness for people to come forward. When asked these questions, Dr. Freeman said she had to be careful to fly under the radar in order to avoid resistance. She cited a colleague who had faced severe backlash and harassment after giving an interview to a Bolivian newspaper regarding abortion laws, as well as academics who have been faced with death threats and are unable to publish under their own name due to safety concerns. Naturally, this creates a problem of wanting to get the work out and provoke change while operating in safety. The attitudes towards abortion, particularly in Mexico and Peru, have meant that researchers have had to work through organizations that already work in abortion to collect data and accounts due to women being afraid of punitive measures. Freeman's 2020 paper on abortion mobilities highlights the importance of broadening the research on the topic of via politics from solely migration. Dr. Freeman mentioned a lack of research in abortion in general with human geography, noting that the first actual qualitative paper was written in 2013 by Fran Moore, and prior to this, there only exists a spatial mapping of abortions. And only with the rise of feminist geographies has there been an uptick in qualitative research regarding abortion. Her research is deeply important as it reveals the serious challenges some women face trying to get abortions, and also by using accounts makes it personal. Before reading her paper, I had very little knowledge in this area, and this highlights the lack of attention that has been given to feminist geographies during my education thus far. This field of study is key to allow geographers to better understand abortion mobilities and the issues that arise due to it. Through furthering research, human geographers will be able to aid the emancipation of abortions, in particular medicinal abortions, as they are more widely available and are very safe and have a 95 to 98% efficacy rate within countries such as Mexico and Peru.
Our second question was, do you think poorer members of the global community should receive financial aid when travelling long distances to get their abortion clinic location? Or would you argue that this is only really a temporary solution, as women should not have to travel in the first place? Dr. Freeman answered saying that in places in the global south where abortion is legally restricted, governments therefore will not pay for the financial aid of journeys as it is a crime. Secondly, organizations are calling for the complete discrimination of abortion so that people will not get punished. This has happened in Mexico last December, and now no one can be penalized for having an abortion. NGOs are now calling for free, safe, legal abortions that are paid for by the state. Dr. Freeman also mentioned that it is a crime in the UK to have an abortion unless two doctors have given permission, whereas in Poland and Malta, abortion is always illegal. Third question was, do you think African women would trust the pill being sent to them after Depo-Provera in Zimbabwe, where women were forced to accept the drug with no indication of what it was? Do you think this will turn women away from abortions in Africa? Also, can this be solved by providing education leaflets? Dr. Freeman outlined that in racialized populations, this treatment is common where women are abused by people claiming to be doing research. This is particularly common for women of colour being used for medical experiments. She stressed that this feeling is understandable as people are being forced to have the pill, their liberty taken away, and they have no idea what the pill consists of. However, non-state networks are currently working to gain the trust of the people, and networks such as the MAMA network works across Africa to raise awareness of sexual health, rights, and access to abortions and further information. This is crucial as African people are hardly likely to trust the state after they have been betrayed by them with giving them the pill the last time. Therefore, trust is laid with the non-state networks. Our fourth question was, do you think that in poorer countries where unwanted pregnancies are more likely, i.e. not being able to afford a condom, do you think this may cause competition over who gets the leftover pills between women? Dr. Freeman stated that she has never heard of any competition over pills. This is because pills can be accessed through online providers such as the NHS and pharmacies. The reason the leftover pills are used is mostly because abortions are illegal in these countries, and therefore without a prescription, the abortion pills are 5 times the price they'd usually be with a prescription. Secondly, girls find it more discreet to use networks of girls with leftover pills, and this means they don't go to waste or run out of date. So how does this relate to the overarching question? This relates to human geography in a changing world as it focuses on humans and human rights. Human geographers notice that women are being treated unfairly, and although the world is changing, there are still many improvements needed to be made on women's rights. Women need to be supported. It is disgraceful that women have to make dangerous journeys to hide from the government when the government should be supportive. This is also a very key topic in demonstrating that the world is changing as parts of the world are working on the decriminalisation of abortion. We are all working towards a better world for women.
Why do you think that gender has not been significantly focused on within the study of mobility and has only recently become more apparent? In response to the first question, Dr. Freeman mentioned how the study of mobilities is mainly a male-dominated scholarship in the global north, and as a result, conversations surrounding gender mobility have been sidelined. Similarly, the technical issues surrounding the publishing process means that certain research can be censored due to some people's opinions that the literature is not appropriate. This is as a result of the anonymous peer review process, which can lead to the gatekeeping of information and studies. Similarly, human geographers who study and write about abortion have to use trigger warnings, which further invalidates the topic. Dr. Freeman stated that essentially we cannot avoid a feminine discourse, and feminist geographies are a key concept within the subject, which cannot be concealed. Gender itself is an integral concept within geography, so therefore we have to face it and talk about it openly. Although there may only be a small change in the way we talk about gender mobilities and abortion recently, in the long run, hopefully everyone will have appropriate legal access to abortion. Nevertheless, there is still a long way to go. As the world is changing, human geographers have the power to bring light and attention to suppressed topics such as abortion. This means that people will be able to talk more comfortably and openly about their experiences without feeling ashamed. Furthermore, the research carried out around abortion and via politics can help people to understand and comprehend the struggles that some face, which may be typically censored by media. Bringing awareness to the subject can help those in more fortunate positions to make a change and aid others where they can, even if this is simply just by bringing awareness, for example, through social media campaigns. This is a critical role that human geography can teach us in a changing world.
Another question that we asked was, how does your research on abortion mobilities have an effect in the future? Dr. Freeman obtains funding for her research on abortion mobilities across Latin America from the Economic and Social Research Council. The ESRC have an impact agenda where they fund research which either has an academic impact or has an economic and societal impact. Therefore, in order for Dr. Freeman to continue to obtain funds from the ESRC, she has to show that her research will result in real-world change and be applied to future generations. Freeman works with other organisations and provides them with Global North funding so that they can continue to research abortion mobilities on the Chile-Peru border. An example of her work has been with an organisation in Mexico, where they have co-written a graphic novel based on the experiences of women that they support getting abortions. These representations and illustrations aim to help people in the global north to understand the everyday experiences of getting an abortion, rather than it being a politicised topic. Freeman hopes that her research on abortion mobilities and by working with other organisations will further the understanding of the global north, who may help improve policies to legalise abortion for future generations in Latin America. So how does this relate to the overarching question? Freeman's research in abortion mobilities has a significant impact in the changing world. This is because her research should be read by other academics and other organisations in the global north who may want to help improve access to abortions in Latin America. For example, people in the global north may start creating maps, media coverage, ads, and provide funds so that women in Latin America who struggle to access abortions get the ability to access abortion pills or surgical abortions. Through this method of representing the struggles of women in Latin America to the global north, Latin American policies and government may have to change their laws on abortion and legalize it in more cities. This is because the global north may highlight the consequences of not legalizing abortion rights, such as high death rates, brutal healthcare outcomes, and sexual abuse by healthcare staff. This also links to other human rights that are currently violated in Latin America and have limited academic literature associated to them. This suggests this research into abortion may prompt other academics to research other human rights that are currently violated but may be legalized for future generations.
I asked Dr. Freeman about the current situation concerning the new governments in countries such as Peru and Chile. In Peru, Pedro Castillo was elected last year in July. However, he is unlikely to change the law surrounding abortion. He is personally opposed to abortion, same-sex marriage, euthanasia, and sex education. However, he did appoint Anhari Duran to the Ministry of Women and Vulnerable Populations, who is pro-abortion, so this might result in some change to the law. However, in Chile, the situation is far better. Gabriel Boric is now president-elect and does plan to change the law concerning abortion. However, this is more complex due to the ban on abortion being passed in the Pinochet constitution, which he plans to rewrite, but this still makes the process more complex than just changing the law. This shows the relevance of human geography in the modern world because it gives us the tools to understand situations such as the importance of the government changes in these countries and how that relates to everyday people. This is also important for understanding the politics of South America and the domestic policy and human geography.